Thanks to the support as a channel member, Grant Charman. Well, we've just had what I would class as another very good summer transfer window. I am over the moon with this squad. We even broke our club record transfer on a goalkeeper, a backup goalkeeper. These feel like the kind of antics that Champions League clubs get up to. Let's find out just how good we are. Hello and welcome to Club 2, part 31 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have our first two games of the new Premier League season. We're at home against Aston Villa, away against Sheffield United. They are two games that we absolutely should be winning. If we have a look at the media prediction for the season, they think 12th place. I think top six again. It's got to be what we're aiming for. We had, like I say, a very good transfer window. Brought in, a bunch of players who are ready for the first team. McGuinness, Eduardo, Mancia, Sana, Simon. All five of them could go straight into our first team, which is something we haven't done very often. But they all also still are the young, up-and-coming, wonder kiddie style players as well. So I think I'm over the moon. We've got our new 4-2-3-1 that we brought in towards the end of the last season to accommodate Jim Watson, which looks really good. Jim Watson is now injured, so we're going to have to play it without him. We've never done that before. But let's just go and put 5 goals past Aston Villa. It's going to be fun. We're going with Blanco in goal. He gets the nod over Simon. He's the man in possession. He needs to play poorly or get injured for Simon to get a look in. Obviously, Simon will start getting opportunities in the Cups and in Europe when that happens. So if he ends up really, really outstanding, he might force his way in that way. But certainly at the start of this season, Blanco is in until he makes a mistake. No pressure or anything on the 20-year-old goalkeeper. He does have 2 full Premier League seasons under his belt. It's not like as a 20-year-old goalkeeper, he's massively inexperienced. We've then got Rojas at left back. Hopefully only a temporary solution because we are hoping to have Andrew Robertson in before the second game of today's episode to be our new short-term solution at left back. So Rojas at left back, Valente, de Klerk and new boy McGuinness making up the rest of the back four. Another new boy in midfield in the shape of Sana alongside Scott, and then Antas, Sartori and Ross supporting Reyes up front. Also keep a close eye on Tamang, who has had an incredible pre-season, 8 goals from 3 appearances in pre-season to cap off his excellent loan at Celtic in the second half of last season. Plus, one of the Championship's top scorers from last year as well. There are goals throughout this team and more new players knocking around on the bench as well. Eduardo, who could be playing at centre mid, left back, centre back, easily slot him in any of those places. And another of the loanee returnees in the shape of David Braddock, another genuine English wonder kid, along with Tamang. The future of English football is on our bench, and we've got Germany's goalkeeper as our reserve keeper, which is never going to not be bonkers as far as I'm concerned. But let's get into the match. Let's see how this new look team gets on. We're going double playmaker, which is another thing that just goes against everything I stand for. The Simon transfer, I'm still reeling from the Simon transfer. It's not something I would ever normally do, and I really hope it doesn't backfire. And the exact same can be said for having both a deep line playmaker and an advanced playmaker in the same team. You lot have been telling me for years it's fine as long as they're in different phases of the pitch, and these two definitely are. The defensive midfielder, the deep line playmaker, Sana, should be shielding the back four, whereas Sartori should be hovering around in these areas, trying to make goals for Reyes. Talking of making goals for Reyes, he is off the mark 3 minutes in. Ignacio Reyes finished as the top scorer and best player at the under-21 Euros this summer for Spain. So he's carrying on his excellent form that he finished last season in, with goals over the summer as well, and a nice big new contract to reward him with as well. So Reyes is definitely starting to look the part. He's been here a year and a half now, I think, and he's definitely starting to look the part, but obviously has a little bit more competition breathing down his neck this season. Jim Watson has been removed from the striker section of the squad planner, and that was his main rival last year. And we've got the youngster Tamang and Mancia, who's our new number 9 and full of championship goals, looking to compete with Reyes. Villa have scored here. I'm hoping it's being disallowed. And it's been disallowed. There you go. It looked like it should have been disallowed. It certainly looked offside to me. Let's have a look at it from the other angle. And it's the shot. Yeah, he's marked. Absolutely. There's 3 of them offside. Never any question. Blanco doesn't even touch it. Never any doubt. That was always offside. And how are Liverpool? Okay, Liverpool must have been a lunchtime kickoff. Hang on, he says. We must be an evening kickoff because there's a 5-2 there, a 7-1 there. There's a lot of teams scoring a lot of goals pretty early on this first day of the new season. But there's a 90th minute goal, a 92nd minute goal. Something tells me that that we're the evening kickoff, and somehow I've not even noticed. Right, Rojas already on a yellow card at left back, which is always a little bit alarming because he's not a natural playing there. And Sartori has faffed around on the ball for a little bit too long and given it away. That's going to be my worry with having too many playmakers in the team. Too many playmakers, faff too much. I'm sure it's a phrase you've heard before. New boy Megenis, or Megenis, we still haven't decided how you say his name. That's a lovely cross, though, for Antas at the far post, who owed his new teammate a little bit better than that with a finish. It was a cross deserving of an assist and a header that, yeah, looked like a player who doesn't plan on playing on that left-hand side too much this season. It was poor from Antas. He needs to do better than that. We've got a lot of players who can play in that position. He is a lucky boy to have been given the nod today, and he isn't rewarding me with a performance so far. And it is Villa with the first highlight of this second half. If we could win the ball back, I'm always going to be worried with this 4-2-3-1 that we're going to be a little bit lightweight in central midfield. And I'm very worried about Rojas here chasing around the Villa winger as if he's never defended before, which, to be fair, until he signed for us, he probably hadn't. De Klerk clears it forward to Reyes, who brings it down nicely, turns and starts running. There's nobody up supporting him. Reyes needs to play like a big boy centre forward here. He does brilliantly, plays it back to Rojas, Antas to Sartori, and now Scott. And I don't even know who hit that in the end. It might have been Antas. But that was lovely centre forward play from Reyes, who he looks like a new man. We've got all these new strikers in competing with him, and we might not need him. He looks like he's had a bit of a growth spurt as a footballer this summer. Right, let's make some substitutions. We're on the 70th minute. Sartori can come off for Braddock, which is a nice substitution to be able to make. The youngster David Braddock, only 20 years old, went out on loan to the Netherlands second half of last season. Now it's time to see how he's developed in that period. We're also going to take off Ross and bring on Marin, and I think we're going to take off Sana as well and bring on new boy Carlos Eduardo in central midfield. He's a different kind of central midfielder. We've actually not got a playmaker on the pitch now, because neither of those are particularly playmakery. So I might just tell Braddock at 20 to do the playmaking, because Eduardo is very much a centre-back playing in central midfield. But that's kind of why we signed him. We wanted someone in there adding a little bit of meat and a little bit of weight to the central midfield for situations just like this one, where we're defending a 1-goal lead. Right, we are going to make another change. We're going to take off Rojas and bring Walters on. That's why we need a new left back. And here's a demonstration of why we might need some strength and depth at right back as well, because Megenis needs to come off. We'll put de Klerk out to right back. We're going to drop Eduardo back in there and bring on Juan, I think, in central midfield, who, yeah, we're going to make Juan that, and then Braddock can go back to doing what he actually wants to be doing in there. And we have to wait another match to see the new boy Mancia or Tamang as the rejuvenated young striker, because Reyes has had a very good game today. And other substitutions took priority. But it is Villa on the attack. It's not all over for today. We're still only 1 goal ahead. And at any moment, that could happen. And then we've got a problem. It's one of our channel legends as well, Liam Delap, who's scored many goals on this channel over the years. And unfortunately, he's now got one against us as well, because that's unfortunate. There's no chance that one's offside. And I think we have to go attacking. I mean, did Villa finish in the Champions League spots last year? I think Villa were quite good last year. So I don't think we need to be massively disappointed about dropping points to Villa. But I did kind of want to put a marker out for how good we're going to be this season. I don't know that we've done it there with a 1-1 draw at home. At least we're going to have Robertson in, hopefully, for the Sheffield United game. Right, load of changes for the Sheffield United game. I want to see the rest of my new toys. I can't help myself. Simon comes in goal. We did get Andrew Robertson signed, so he is going to come in. Not only is he coming in, he's going to be our captain and corner taker. The boy takes quite a good corner, but he is going to be captain in the absence of Ross, who's picked up an injury. Robertson is our new vice captain, a role he took over as soon as he arrived. Former vice captain Harvey White is going to get his first start of the season in midfield, and we are going to play Jim Watson, who can still only do 45 minutes, but I want to see him play. Rojas moves up to the left wing. Scott moves from centre mid out to the right wing to cover for Ross, which he's actually not too bad at in that position. We've never really used him there, but there's no reason why we shouldn't. And we're going to look at our new striker, Manu Mancia, up front, who has got 30 goals nearly over the last 2 years in the Championship. He's still good, though, and we will look to get Tamang on at some point during the match as well, so we can have a look at him. And then I think we'll have had a look at all of the shiny new things in the first episode. Don't read too much into the Simon team selection, the Mancia team selection. This is not me abandoning the boys that got us here. This is me wanting to have a look at the new ones so that I can get an idea of how they play in our system, where they might rank in the pecking order. It's all well and good having the squad planner on there and the star ratings on there and all that kind of stuff, but until we actually see them in action, in games, it's impossible to know who's better than who. And I've left the short corners on, which is a terrible oversight on my part. I used my set of corner instructions that I've been using for the last 3 FMs and just plonked them onto this tactic when we created it. And obviously I haven't taken off the short corner, which doesn't really work on this year's FM, as you just saw. So we might take that off before the next match. But first look at Robertson in a Preston shirt, plays it forward to Rojas, who's probably loving the fact that he's not having to play at left back today. Ball forward from Sana to White, and White is looking for Scott, who plays it immediately into Mancia, and it's a goal on his debut. I think there is a strong suspicion of offside there, but fingers crossed the referee is going to realise it's a young man on his debut and he'd love to do a football goal. This referee has got no heart whatsoever. What a hideous decision. It was good football from Scott, though, playing out wide on the right-hand side for the first time. It's the first time cross, and it's a lovely cross. Mancia just getting himself offside there, which he doesn't need to do. He's very, very quick. The reason we wanted him is because he's so fast, and he shouldn't need to be getting himself offside because of his speed. Obviously, former Preston player Longstaff is in midfield for Sheffield United today as well. They've just been promoted from the Championship, so this should be a team we're capable of beating, unless I fiddled with the squad too much and completely ruined us, which is always a possibility. We've not started brilliantly to this season. We've laboured to a point against Aston Villa. If we come out of this with only 2 points or worse from these first 2 matches, which both looked winnable, I'm not gonna be alarmed just yet. But it's not like we've done loads of transfers this summer and upset dynamics or anything. You would think we'd just pick up from where we left off and be good at football. McGuinness is tired. He needs to come off. Watson was supposed to come off at half-time. Whoopsie. I'm going to play Reyes in behind here. Reyes can actually play as an attacking midfielder. So I want to play him there because I really want to get Tamang on for the final 20 minutes, who, like I say, has been fantastic in pre-season. So we're going to get Tamang on ahead of Reyes and have a look at Tamang in the league. Valenti from the set piece. It's always been what we're good at. How can he be offside? Because he wasn't offside from his original header. No one but him touches the ball. He heads it. It comes back. I was going to say there's no way he can possibly be offside because he effectively played the ball to himself. If we watch it on the replay, the cross from Sana comes in, and then it's the initial header from Valenti that comes back out again, and then he finishes it. There's just no way he could have been offside unless the argument is he's offside from the original free kick, and it was miles onside. Absolutely bonkers. But we're 1-0 up. That's the important thing. All eyes on Tamang, wearing the number 10 shirt. Big pressure for such a young man, but he's the next Jeff Hurst, we discovered in the transfer special yesterday. Very, very highly thought of. And look how deep Reyes is coming here. Reyes playing it forward to Scott. And now back to Reyes again. Out to Walters at right back. There is Tamang, the number 10, the big number 10. There's a lot of him. He wants to be a target man. We've told him not to be so silly. And we're playing him as a pressing forward. But I don't know. Are we going to have to start playing with a target man to get the best out of him? I hope not, because target men are horrible. Right, Rojas on the left-hand side plays it forward to Reyes, who's got in behind here. Reyes tucks it into the far corner. It's the second goal of the season for Ignacio Reyes. He's just as dangerous from attacking midfield. If we end up in a situation where both of last season's strikers end up being the players vying for the attacking midfield position, and the two new ones end up being the two strikers, I'm just going to give up trying to do any planning, because in my mind, Reyes and Watson were very much strikers when I signed them. Oh, it's going to make me look like a right Wally. Right, de Klerk needs to come off. Eduardo can come on for him. We're a bit overloaded with left feet in that back four at the moment. And we're also going to take off Scott and bring on Marin to play on that right-hand side. Not seen anything from Tamang yet, but this was a little bit like what happened last year before he went to Celtic. We were all very excited about him, and then he didn't really do anything. He's gone away to Celtic, scored a load of goals, but the Premier League clearly is a different beast, and we're still not really seeing anything from him. Unless, I mean, he's hit the crossbar there. Maybe we should be playing him as a target man, because that's the corner from Robertson. Tamang rattles the crossbar with the header, and he very nearly got what would have been, I think, his first Premier League goal, but it was not to be. But we have now seen all of our shiny new toys. I don't think that match was any kind of way to judge Simon in goals. I don't remember him having to make a save or even being in a highlight. But we've given everybody a game now. And now I'm going to go and give them all lots more games, play a few different combinations, and we'll probably come back. I say we'll probably come back Monday. We'll definitely come back Monday. It'll probably be for the first matches in the Europa League, which hasn't been drawn yet, so I don't know exactly when they'll be. But if you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.